Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, back making videos on softer sites and poker stars, and it's the first time I've made a non-stars video for a short while, and it's nice to be back making videos in kind of my own niche rather than making videos outside of my niche. Table 1 is a 25NL Euros table on Unibet. Table 2 is a 20 pence NL table on Sky. Straight away we have a decision whether to 3-bet our ace king or not here. And even though Dandy's limped in, so I kind of wanted to call to play pots with him. Playing ace king out of position against two players isn't a situation I want to be getting myself in too often. Had I been on the button there's every chance I would just have called, but out of position, I think I'd rather play the hand with the initiative. And even though when I 3-bet there, I just know I'm going to blow by Dandy out of the pot most of the time. I think it's a better situation for me than calling, having by Dandy call, and then just be forced to check fold at the 70% of the time that I miss. So that's why I 3-bet. Then normally you'll see me looking to call when people have limped into pots more, just to keep the weak players in the pot. I don't particularly like 3-betting bad players out of pots with good hands. But I think because of the way the hand was going down, I think 3-betting was definitely the best way to go about it. Don't know anything about any of these players so far, but I think pocket tens is. I don't particularly want to just flat with pocket tens here. I think I can get some pre-flop value for sure. Again, because I'm in a better position, I would rather be playing the hand with the initiative than without it. And because there's no one limped into the pot so far, it makes me way more willing to 3-bet, because I'm not scared of blowing a weaker player out of the pot who's already limped in, with a hand that pocket tens can get tons of value from post flop. So that's why, again, I'm not a huge 3-better. I don't really. If I'm 3-betting, there's only two reasons for it. Number one, I've got a value hand versus a fish. Or number two, I've got usually a bluff versus a regular. I'll tend to like to slow play quite a lot pre-flop against players that I think are going to play quite well versus 3-bets. So if I think someone's going to play well versus a 3-bet, I tend not to 3-bet them too much. I do tend to 3-bet fish somewhat wide for value, and regulars mostly with bluffs. That's kind of how I operate with my 3-betting, and I do it because I think it works really well in the games I play. That 3-bet strategy wouldn't work in the tough games that many of you are playing in, but as I've talked about before, my videos are aimed more at recreational players who are playing on softer sites and who want to try and follow my low volume, higher win rate strategy, rather than go for the high volume, low win rate strategy that's very popular these days with many modern poker players. It certainly isn't for everyone what I do, but it's certainly, I don't think the other alternatives are for everyone either. So I try and open people's minds to another way. For do suit, I think it's just a little bit too weak to call. I was tempted to call there because it's so pretty, but we're just going to end up check folding way too often post flop. So what do I want to talk about during this short video? Well, first of all, the fact I'm playing two sites. Why am I playing across two sites? I could probably have found two good games on Sky. I could probably just have joined two Unibet tables and made a video, but I wanted to give me the opportunity to talk about, if you are wanting to follow a low volume, high win rate type strategy to your poker, spreading your bankroll around, playing across multiple sites is going to be a good way for you to do that. I'm well rolled for 50NL. I might, without giving too much away about my overall financial position, I don't keep a lot of money online. I never keep more than maybe 30 buy-ins in on any site, just because I think online poker, it's not sketchy. Unibet are a solid site, Sky are a solid site, but who knows when things can go wrong. I just don't need to have thousands and thousands of dollars tied up on a internet poker site when it's just so easy to withdraw and deposit from all the sites that I play on. So for example, on Sky right now, I've got, I think it's around £450. On Unibet, I have around €160. On PokerStars, I have maybe $250. On 888, I have $300. On Party Poker, I have $250. Things like that. So I'll have like maybe $2,000 strewn around maybe 4 or 5 sites, because I just want to give myself the best opportunity to always be able to play in good games. If all your money is tied up on one site, and then that night, for example, you might log into Sky, and you might want to play a session of 20NL, and maybe all the 20NL tables are full, and when you try and start tables, nothing's happening, because that's what happens on Sky sometimes. Or maybe there's just a lot of regulars knocking around, or who knows, or maybe there's just nobody playing. So then, if all your money's on Sky, you're kind of hamstrung to either try to force some action on Sky, or to sit at some tables that you wouldn't normally sit at. Whereas you can just close your Sky client and say, you know what, I'm going to have a look at 888, I'm going to try and play some Snap, or I'm going to go and open Unibet and just fire 2 tables of Unibet up, or whatever. Just giving yourself more options to be able to find good poker games is absolutely in your interest. So spreading your money thinly across multiple sites, if you're not going to be a high volume player, is going to work just fine. Only the fact I've only got €150 on Unibet doesn't matter, because I'm never going to want to play more than 2 tables of 50NL, which isn't a lot. Obviously, we can soon go broke there. It's not the hardest thing in the world to lose 3 buy-ins at 50NL, but it's nothing stopping me just taking some money off Sky or sort of stuff, and just moving my money around quite fluidly to always have options. So whenever I'm playing that, I've always got enough money on to play at least 2 tables of the games that I want to play. That's all I need, really. Obviously, I'd like to have a little bit more than that on all sites. The only reason I've got such a small amount on Unibet right now is because I just recently put some money back on there. I moved some money off. I kind of split my 888 roll between 888 Stars and Unibet now, rather than having just Sky Stars and 888. I don't play on 888 very much anymore at all, so I just don't need to have a lot of money there. I've got enough there if I want to make some 30NL videos, or if I want to play some 30NL Snap. I have enough on there that's going to allow me to do that, so that's fine. So yeah, I've kind of lost my train of thought here, but yeah, where was I? Yes, I was talking about just being able to move between sites, and it's a pain in the ass if you want to try and play across 2 or even 3 sites, but you're trying to play 8 tables at the same time. It's practically impossible to do that without third-party software assistant like Table Mint or Stack and Tile, or whatever other table placing software there is, which costs money, which eats into our hourly rate, eats into our win rate, etc. Now, if you want to play multiple sites and multiple tables, you're just simply going to have to buy that software, or get that software on a weekly basis. And I'll come back to that in a moment. This time we are going to defend Queen 8 suited against somebody who is attacking us with a small blind quite a lot. Unfortunately, we haven't flopped at all well, and he's made a reasonable size c-bet. I may have attacked a smaller c-bet, but when he makes that c-bet size, and we have no equity, we're just going to give him the pot and not worry too much about it. So yeah, if you want to play lots of tables, then you're going to have to get some table placing software. But if you want to play just do I want to 3-bet my ace queen here? I don't think I do against Under the Gun. If you want to play just 2 to 4 tables, you don't need table placing software at all, particularly if you've got 2 monitors. you can just spread your tables out quite nicely and have no problem keeping your eye on them all without having something managing your software, having somebody managing it for you. And then what you can have is you can just have the pick of the best games all over the internet then. You're not just picking the best games on your site, you're picking the best games for your limit anywhere online. That's going to give you a significant boost to your win rate. And I'm going to go for some thin value here with my ace queen. I'm going to try and get caught by a jack or by pocket tens or something like that. We are going to fall to a raise and we're not going to worry too much about getting raised. We're pretty much attacking his jack x, his pocket tens here and stuff, or his or her. So you can always give yourself the absolute very best chance of being in the very best games anywhere being played in the world right now at your limits. If you can do that, I mean, there's nothing stopping you, if you're a reasonable poker player, having a close to, or if not better than, a double figure win rate, which we kind of need to do if we are playing low volume. So you made a different c-bet size this time. Remember last time blind versus blind on ace xx, he made around 3/4. Now he's just half potting, which is telling me that he may be weak, or suggesting to me he might have a size intel that indicates he's weak. I'm going to try that out here by making a really quite small bet. Just seeing how small we can make him fold for. And we do. So yeah, this guy, this Ted Truckers, could very easily have a size intel. And it's something, hopefully, we'll be able to try and work on during the rest of the video. And just try and make some tight folds to his larger bets and try and float or raise his smaller bets. Just to try and exploit what may or may not be a tell. So yes, where was I again? Yes, if we're playing, and if we're prepared to play a mix of games from $25 NL through to £50 NL. So say our average buy-in is £30. Say we're playing £30 NL on average over our month or whatever. It doesn't always work out that way, but we can assume that's somewhere near to where we're going to be, and we're 4 tabling. So we're going to be getting around 300 hands an hour, an average of £30 NL. And just say we're winning at 10 big blinds 100, which is very, very achievable. It's a big win rate, but using my methods, the methods I use, it's without question it's achievable. 10 big blinds is an average win rate for someone using these practices. Then just let's do the maths a moment. Let's just see what your hourly rate's going to be. So we have 10 big blinds 100, 300 hands an hour at 30 NL. So we're getting... Let me just play these pocket sevens a second before I butcher some maths. I'm not going to call with the 2 sevens there. It's just going to be too hard for me to get to showdown. I don't particularly want to just be calling and then check folding there. So we're getting 300 hands an hour. We're getting 10 big blinds 100 at £30 now. So we're making £3 per 100 hands. And then we're getting on top of that... so we're getting that times 3. So we're making £9 an hour before any bonuses. Now, yeah, we're not going to make an awful lot of bonuses using this strategy because we're never going to have a high VIP level on any site. But then maybe overall our bonuses maybe tap out at 50 pence to £1 an hour on top of that, which is nothing, but it all counts. It's not inconceivable that you can have a £10 an hour win rate for table in Microstakes poker. And for a lot of people, £10 an hour, big deal. It's not a lot of money. But if you live in the UK and you are, just on an average wage, and then you can play poker for maybe 15 hours per week, making £10 per hour, all of a sudden you give yourself a significant second income there. If you're living outside of the UK in some countries where £10 an hour is really very good money, well then you've really given yourself an opportunity to change your life through basically just playing pretty solid type poker and just giving yourself the best opportunity to maximise your win rate. I fully accept this method isn't for everybody. But if you are a serious recreational player who just wants to monetize your hobby, or if you're you want to be a professional poker player in an Eastern European country where maybe making anything from £7 to £10 an hour is significant, then this is an alternative to absolutely grinding yourself to dust on some of the harder sites, and making most of your money from, or making as much of your money from rate back as you are from actual profits. It's much lower stress for a start, and it's just much more fun. It's more relaxing. It's more fun because you're actually winning at a high win rate. It boosts your self-esteem more than someone who's just grinding out tougher games for maybe 2 or 3 big blinds for 100. It's just an all-round better poker experience. So it's just something that, yeah, it doesn't suit everyone, but it could definitely suit lots of people. I'm fully aware that lots of people, particularly on Reddit, do sometimes question my ability as a poker player. Am I the best poker player on Reddit? Of course not. Not even close. Am I the best 15L poker player on Reddit? Again, quite likely not. There's probably some 15L Zoom players on Reddit that are probably better at poker than me. But do I have an all-round better poker experience than these guys? I'd imagine in a lot of cases that yes, I do. And many of the players that do me down, and this isn't meant to be a brag or a needler, anything like that, would probably be quite pleased to be earning £10 or £11 per hour playing poker. And I'm not trying to wind anybody up with this. I'm not trying to troll anybody or upset anybody. I'm just trying to put my case for why this can be a very reasonable option for a number of players. I'm not trying to convert anyone who is really hooked on a high volume way of life. Then you guys, if you've got this far in the video, well done, but it really isn't for you. What I'm trying to do, and what I've tried to do for a while now, is help recreational players monetize a hobby in a way that doesn't spoil their hobby for them. And I believe that for a lot of people, constantly playing in really tough games, or not even really tough games, but tough games, it just doesn't do it for them. Why are people leaving poker? A lot of the times because it's just too damn tough for people, and they know they don't have much of an edge. They're best to breaking even, sometimes they're losing money, and they're leaving poker, and they have been leaving poker, not in droves, but they've been leaving with a steady trickle, shall we say, and that will continue whilst poker continues to be so tough. What we really need, obviously, is the Americans back on a global scale, but that's a long way off, so let's not worry too much about that. But a little thing that I read, it's a little pearl of wisdom from Lyman, and I'm just going to pull it up because I had it on a notepad the other day, and this is it. Opponents don't have to play that well to make beating the rate quite difficult. This is why we need to play with gamblers, not other eggs. Now, I've kind of adapted that slightly, but I think it's an incredibly valid point that if we're playing in tough games, even if even if the regulars we're playing against aren't that good, they don't have to be playing particularly well to make winning at poker really quite difficult. To make winning a reasonable amount quite difficult, which is why I really do approach poker the way I do. I have no interest in banging my head against the brick wall, which is tough poker games. I don't need to feel like I'm really good at poker. I need to feel like I'm just making my poker pay for me, and I'm getting profit from poker. Now, some people are motivated differently. They really want to feel like they are really good. They're one of the best around, etc., etc. I understand that. I think it's nonsense, but I understand it. We're just going to shove this here because Mind Cobra's been playing pretty wild, and we can certainly get it in decent shape. But I don't really want Newbie Noob to come along. Unfortunately, as we bink a 10, we're going to lose to Mid Cobra, but whatever, it's not a big deal. It's hard to know exactly statistically how Mid Cobra's playing, but he's been splashing around a decent amount. So Ace Queen there is very much going to be my player. It's definitely going to be a range I'm prepared to play for his stack with. which is I should have explained it better, but I called the grids open because I wanted to play pots with Mid Cobra. Mid Cobra gave me the chance to do that. Unfortunately, we lost a flip. Never mind. Really doesn't matter. We're going to get it in much better than that against Mid Cobra. Mid Cobra can easily have Ace 10, Ace Jack there, King Queen, other smaller pairs because he's just that loose and erratic. So yeah, I've lost my train of thought again. Yep. So I mean, we're just different people, different strokes make different folks. I'm aware that I have upset a couple of people on Reddit with my comments lately about Zoom poker. I don't intend to repeat that mistake, but I did want to set the record straight into against why I do the things I do. I don't claim to be the best player. I don't claim to be, some kind of poker genius, but I do believe that I can help lots and lots of losing, break-even Microstakes players currently struggling on tougher sites to make much more from their poker, both in terms of a rest and relaxation experience, but also as a way to make their poker profitable too. I think we can definitely kill two birds with one stone with a particular player type. And yeah, there's lots of those player types, lots of those players that I'm never going to be able to convert, and I'm not trying to convert them. I'm just trying to convert the people who are dissatisfied with their current grind, but don't really know how to break out of it. Those are the people I'm aiming my videos at, and also at new players and beginners. So hopefully we've cleared that up from my last video, which it did cause quite a storm. I should not have said Zoom players are like heroin addicts. That was not a clever thing to say. If that did offend anyone, I genuinely apologise for it. I don't believe it did offend anybody, but there was an awful lot of full outrage on Reddit that kind of didn't make me feel good. It's not in my interest to go around upsetting people and offending them. Yep, I like to be a little bit exaggerating a lot of the things I say and do, but by the same token, I don't want people to be hating on me. I don't want to be a figure of hate on any particular side, and that's not just because it's bad for my business. It's just because it doesn't make me feel good. So I don't want to be that guy. But I'm still gonna pull people's legs now and again. Still gonna have a little bit of fun with it. Hopefully, with my Twitch stream, we can have some fun in the chat box with that kind of thing. People will probably come along and needle me. Hopefully, they'll be able to take it when I throw a little bit back, and it can all just be good, harmless fun. But yeah, I think I went a little bit too far in my last video, and I think people's reactions were certainly over the top too. It's all just a big load of nonsense that hopefully has been cleared up by that. So let's just go back now to hopefully. I mean, I'm fortunate in terms of I've not been getting dealt many good cards, so it's allowed me to make that point. But now hopefully for the rest of the video we can hopefully find a couple of half decent spots to try and get some strategy talking. Not going to see bet here. Yeah, we have a good shot. Backdoor flush draw. But against two people, I think our fold equity is significantly reduced. So we can just comfortably check fold. Doesn't seem like the best of tables, to be fair, this table 1 on Unibet. If I was actually playing my proper grind here, I would have come off this table by now. It just looks like Sheila could be a regular. Well, I haven't been paying too much attention, to be completely honest. It doesn't seem like the best of tables to me. Obviously, table 2 on Sky is a good table. We have Mid Cobra, who unfortunately looks like he's going to donate all the money he just won off us in the flip back to the table pretty quickly, which is a shame. But we also have Aces AC, who may or may not be good. I don't know him from Adam. But he's bought him for not a full stack, and we have Newbie Noob, who isn't full stack, so it really can't be the worst table ever. Alan Carr can't be bluffing here. No, and I mean, that 5-5 call from Mid Cobra is just beyond insane. And unfortunately, he's now just dumped the money he won from us onto a regular, which kind of hurts a little bit. It's not nice to see. Yeah, fair play to Alan Carr there. He's got maximum value for his hand. He's a regular in these games. He's Alan. Don't want to say too much about him. Don't want to give too many reads away, but yeah, he probably deserves to stack the fish now and again because he puts a lot of volume in. probably pays a lot of rake. I'm going to make a small 3-bet here with my King 7 suited just to try and isolate aces ace. So you think of a peel there, Alan Carr's going to squeeze me way too often. So I'm just going to make a small isolation 3-bet, and if we get 4-bet, it's just going to be the easiest fold in the world. I'm not going to c-bet here. Yeah, could we get pocket 8s, pocket 9s to fold? Maybe. But I think we're just going to check back, take our free card, turn trips. Hopefully now we're going to hope he has an ace. On the flop we were hoping he didn't have an ace, now we're hoping he does have one. He bets 40 cents, we can't just allow that to stand. We have to raise here for value, we have to start building a pot. And when he calls, he probably just has an ace. And I'm going to expect he's quite a bad player, so I'm going to make a decent size value bet on the river here. And I'm not folding if he's got the cue, if he's got a full house, well, just fuck my life basically. But he didn't, we turned out and we won a nice size pot. And that's going to do our image no end of good, because when we 3-bet people with King 7 and make trips against what I'm going to expect is probably an ace. Yes, it was. That's going to do two things. Number one, it's going to frustrate the hell out of aces AC and perhaps make him play worse against us. Secondly, it's going to make our 3-betting range look way looser than it actually is to regulars. So, yeah, it never does any harm to turn up in a 3-bet pot with a little bit of junk that you've managed to turn into gold. It helps in lots and lots of ways. So yeah, we're going to call it pretty much a video now. We're going to bring the video to a close because I'm now making shorter videos. I do hope though that anyone that's got through this and watched my last video or who reacted badly to my last video on Reddit, I hope you've watched the video through, and I hope at least I've explained to you, and if you feel that I need you to apologise, I hope you've took it as kind of an apology. It's not a massive apology because, you know, I'm not really one for going grovelling to people who don't like me very much. But by the same token, I did step a little bit out of line, so I apologise for that if it did offend anyone. No, I don't think it did. So yeah, the video hasn't been much strategy content in this video, but hopefully we've fixed some fences. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. And there's nothing much more else to say other than yeah, we'll play this ace jack through before I say my goodbyes. And we've flopped nothing. I don't think we need to see about our ace jack here. He doesn't fold any pairs. He maybe doesn't fold ace king and ace queen even, so we can just check back. We've got decent showdown value. And then if he bombs the turn, we can consider folding. We need just half pots. I think he can be probing here with pairs, but he can also have like king queen, king jack, king 10, and just some random bluffs. So I'm definitely going to call this 1-bet. I think bets 195 on the river. So what do I think his range looks like here? Probably value. I think it's hard for him to have a 5, but I mean he absolutely can have a 5. I'm hoping my time bank's going to pop up. But he can absolutely have a 5. He can have pocket 5s, for example, and play exactly this way. He can have ace 5 and play exactly this way. So I think I'm going to have to fold, but yep, never mind. I'm happy with the way I played the hand. I'm happy with my flop check back. I'm happy with my turn call for the reason stated. And I'm happy with the river fold for reasons stated too. But yeah, we're going to call it a video now, and hopefully you all enjoyed it. Hopefully we've laid some ghosts to rest, and yep, I'll see you around soon. If you don't catch me on here, please do check out my Twitch channel, which I'm hoping to try and build up a little bit, at Reggie Time Poker on Twitch. And please keep your eyes out for my new website, Reggie Time Poker, which will hopefully be going live in the next week. So that's all for now. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.